Hey, what's up, y'all fucking dweebs? It's been a hot minute. It's been almost 6 weeks now, I think. Haven't uploaded. I've been real busy job hunting and all, and now that I'm back, you can guess what's happened. So, yeah, maybe a little apartment hunting video soon, maybe a little apartment tour video soon, maybe I'm fucking dipping out of here soon, like, I don't fucking know. But anyways, today I wanted to talk about piercings and some of the things that I wish I knew going into it, during it, and also after it. You know, it's been 4 months now, I don't fucking know. It's been a while now. These are healed. And I am by no means an expert on piercings, but I'm very good at Googling. So if your ears are already pierced and they're fully healed, this video will not be helpful for you, but you can still watch it anyways because, like, I don't know, like maybe I'm handsome and like funny and entertaining maybe. But otherwise, if you're thinking about it or if you're going through it, this will help. Starting off with, before you get your ears pierced, there's a couple things you should consider. Number one, social stigma and job stigma. Social stigma, in my opinion, isn't something you should really worry about anymore. Getting your ears pierced is so commonplace as a guy, even more commonplace if you're a girl, that I don't think anyone in the open world is gonna be judging you. Like, maybe your friends will call you ugly, but like, that's fake. They think you're hot as shit, okay? Don't worry about that. On the other hand, job stigma is something you should think about depending on what industry you're in. I work in tech personally, and I find that in industries like this where it's maybe a bit newer, a bit more laid back, no one really cares at all. On the other hand, if you're a medical professional, if you're a nursing student, or if you're a fucking doctor, I don't know why you're here, but if you're a fucking doctor and you think I'm cool or whatever, hit me up. But if you're a doctor or something, you might not be able to actually wear earrings or piercings in the hospital. And if you have fresh piercings, you can't take them out or else the hole will heal. So you might have to think about that. On the other hand, if you work in like a more stuffy environment, maybe I don't know, you work at a Fortune 500 company and all your coworkers are boomers and I don't know, and your boss fucking hates piercings, then maybe think about it. More importantly, in my opinion, you should really go online and look at people's piercings and where their piercing is on their earlobe. Depending on where the piercing is, it can actually somewhat change the actual aesthetic of the piercing and how much you like it. For me personally, I have a pretty neutral position of where my hole is, but for some other people, you'll find that maybe it's slightly lower, like this woman, or it might be slightly higher. You might want it closer to your face, like more further in, or maybe you want it more further back. And the placement of that can be really important too, depending on if you want it to be your only piercing or if you want to get additional piercings on second. So like if you want doubles, maybe you don't want it so far out. Maybe you want to leave a little space so you can have a second one. So really look at examples, really get a good idea of what you want, and it'll help you a lot when you're actually there. Third, and I cannot stress this enough, please do not go to Claire's. Do not go to Claire's. Do not go anywhere where they have a 16-year-old with a fucking gun pointing it at your earlobe. Don't do it. There's so many things that could go wrong. The biggest, which is the gun gets stuck, the hole gets kind of fucked, and they have to put a second hole in. And now you have two holes, one which you use, and then the other one that is healing, but it's hard to heal because the holes are close together, and you're irritating it all the time because you have a goddamn piece of metal in it. Don't go to Claire's. The best thing to do, if you're in America, there is something called the Association of Professional Piercers, APP, and you can go on their website, safepiercing.org, and find a reputable piercer in your area. They will give you the highest quality, most symmetrical piercing, and yeah, I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but the likelihood of them fucking up is so much less. If you're European or if you're elsewhere, I don't know what the equivalent is, but as long as you go to a reputable, either a tattoo shop or like a piercing shop, usually the people there are just much more qualified, they're much more meticulous and much more precise with what they're doing. So yeah, don't go to Claire's, go to an actual person that is trained and cares about you and knows what you're doing. Also, no matter where you go, make sure you go somewhere where they use a needle and not a gun. A gun is just too much force. It ruptures the ear too hard, whereas a needle is just a lot more clean. You're gonna have a better recovery, and it's just an overall much more pleasurable experience. Next, let's talk about things that you should do now that you're at the actual shop. So firstly, things should go pretty smoothly. If you found a good piercer, they'll help you through and hopefully you just have a pleasant experience. But a couple things to remember. Firstly, make sure they draw a dot where the hole's gonna be. You kind of want to get a good idea where it is before they actually do it, just so you did all that research on where you want the hole to be. So it would kind of suck if they just did it at a random place and you came out of it and you're like, oh man, I don't like that. So one, make sure they draw the hole. Second, if you don't like where the placement is, let them know before they actually puncture your ear. If it's too high, tell them it's too high. If it's too low, tell them it's too low. They'll move it and they'll work with you until you're happy with it. Lastly, when they ask you what you want for your starter piercing, make sure you don't get anything but the basic stud. I know that you might want to jump straight into like a hoop or something dangly, something cute, but trust me, either go with the gold or the stainless steel stud. You literally will have an open flesh wound on your ear that is trying to heal and scar up basically. And if you have something that dangles or something like a hoop where it swings, it's gonna constantly irritate your ear and it's not gonna let it heal quickly. On the other hand, if you go for a stud, it's kind of just there. It doesn't move a whole lot. It can twist, but when you don't apply, when there's not a lot of torque, how do you really apply force to a stud? It's not gonna move a whole lot, and it's just gonna help your piercing heal a lot faster. So hopefully by now, you got your piercings done, you got 2 holes in your ears, you look sick as hell, hella badass, so punk, so swag, How do you take care of them? How do you make sure that they heal properly? Firstly, you gotta make sure that you're cleaning them properly. So for at least 3 weeks, I would say, you should clean your ears twice a day with a sterile saline spray. This is the one I used. The brand is H2 Ocean. Get it? Like H2O is it's like water, and like ocean is like salty, it's marketed as like a piercing aftercare spray. It worked really well for me, but like any sort of sterile saline spray, it's gonna work. So this is the one I like. I'm not sponsored. Who the fuck would sponsor me? I don't make any money off of any of this shit. I do this shit for free, but it's really good. So how long should you do it? Personally, I would say 3 or 4 weeks minimum, depending on how well your ear heals. From there, it doesn't really hurt to keep doing it up to all the way to 8 weeks or 2 months. Personally, do it for at least 3 weeks. If you find that your ear is acting up, then just keep on doing it. Otherwise, you might be fine. Secondly, some people tell you that you need to twist your piercing or wiggle your piercing. No, please, for the love of God, do not do that. The only care you need at all is spraying it down with that saline spray. Do not wiggle it, do not twist it. And the reason for this is, once again, it's an open wound, it's healing, new skin is forming, and every time you twist it, it agitates it, it rips a little bit of skin, and it makes it harder for it to heal. So only use the saline spray, do not wiggle it, do not twist it, just leave it alone. Which brings me to my third point, LITHA. Leave it the hell alone. No matter what, just leave your piercing alone. If there's irritation, spray it down with water, but do not touch it, do not prod it. If there is a bump, don't worry about it. Just trust your body, trust your immune system, and it will go away on its own. If you irritate it, if you mess around with it, it's only going to make it worse. So just trust your body, trust in our Lord and Savior saline spray, and everything's gonna be fine. So if you're taking care of your ears, if you're doing everything that I'm saying, and everything is going well, your piercing will hopefully completely heal in about 8 weeks. And for me, I would wait the entire 8 weeks until I decide to switch out my piercing. And the reason for that is, if you do it before, when it's not fully healed, the actual removal and putting it back in process could hurt your ear. And also, if you're putting in something like dangly or something that's a hoop, it might be too early, and that swinging might start causing irritation again. So yeah, I know you don't like your studs, you want something cooler, you want some hoops, or maybe you want like a cross so you can be fashionable in a God-honoring way. But just wait, honestly, wait 8 weeks, save yourself the hassle, the trouble, the pain, the trauma of having a piercing that's not completely healed and a piercing that is irritated. So Wait 8 weeks for it to completely heal. Lastly, it's been 8 weeks. Hopefully your ears are completely healed and now you're like, hell yeah, I'm ready for some sick ass earrings. So a couple of tips when you're buying earrings. Usually stick with high quality metals, right? Get that 14 karat gold, that 14 karat silver. If those irritate you, you can try platinum. Platinum is usually very hyperallergenic and pretty good for everyone. But you know, if you buy some $5 AliExpress earrings that take a month to get here from China and your ear starts turning green, you know, that might not be the best for you. I would take it out and swap in something else. But yeah, just try to stick with high quality metals. There's a bunch of really cool stuff out there. Be adventurous, have fun exploring. And that's it. That's my complete guide. So I hope that was helpful. I'm not an expert, but as I said, I'm good at taking notes. And yeah, so anyways, thanks for watching. It's been a hot minute, but I promise, I know I've said this so many times, but I promise to upload more regularly. I have a lot more spare time now. And yeah, stick with me. I got some bangers coming out. I say this every time, but seriously, some seriously cool stuff. Got some new clothes, got some plans, big moves. But yeah, follow me on Instagram, subscribe. Thank you. Yeah.